Hey, good afternoon, New Hampshire and all the surrounding area. We have my co-host Mary, the troublemaker. I mean Mary, when they're here, and I have Dr. Jodie MacDonald and Debbie Cross. And Debbie is going to be a spectacular guest. We're really looking forward to hearing her story. Aren't you?
I am.
You know,
And the picture she's got, folks.
and folks we got up there too. And Debbie, you want to introduce yourself?
My name is Deb Cross. I'm the owner of Celebration of Life Studio in
Bring
Manchester.
that mic up close to you.
Oh. Is that all right?
Yep.
And I don't know. What do you want me to talk about today?
Whatever you want to talk about. Your pictures, how you're working to beat cancer, and how you're not giving up.
All right. So 5 years ago, I was diagnosed with cancer, and that was quite a very powerful spiritual experience for me. And you know, my grandfather was a doctor. I prayed to him in heaven, and I needed a doctor. And boom, I went to I got up in the morning. I did a Google search, and I was scrolling down, and I kept looking at all these people, and then all of a sudden, I looked at this one woman, and I said, "That's the one." And it was a miracle, you know. This woman, excuse me, practiced medicine like my grandfather did. You know, he or she. So anyways, I called the office, set up the appointment. They said, come Tuesday afternoon. And Tuesday morning, my phone rings. It's the doctor personally calling me. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. That doesn't happen in this day and age. So she says to me, hi, this is Dr. So-and-so. I'm not busy right now. Why don't you come in now instead of waiting till the afternoon? I said, fine, I'll be there in 20 minutes. So I walk in, and I meet the nurse, who's very outgoing and bubbly, and so I sat down, and I just bared my soul to two strangers. And when the doctor came in, she's this little bubbly Irish woman, and you know, like, you know, and it's exactly what I needed. And I was sobbing and just saying, you know, I don't have a husband or children or grandchildren. I'm on my own. My family's in crisis. I don't know what I'm going to do. I can't handle any of this. And so when I left the office, the nurse and the doctor are a team. She handpicked this nurse to be her partner in her practice. And so when I left, the nurse said to the doctor, we're going to take care of this. What do you mean we're going to take care? No, the patient, no. She has no one. We're going to be her support, and we're going to take care of her. And they did. So long story short, what happened was, and which is unlike me, I knew that God and my grandfather had a plan. And I didn't question anything, which is not like me.
That's for sure.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's true. So when she called back and told me that I had the cancer, she said, I got a plan. And so the plan was, she says, well, what about this doctor or that doctor? And I says, well, you know, if I was your mother or your grandmother, who would you choose? Oh, let's take the one from Massachusetts. That doctor from Massachusetts happened to be the chief of oncology at Mass General Hospital, who happens to come to Nashville once a week. And he was my surgeon. And she says to me, I will be in the operating room with you. That woman has been in my life from that day forward as my mentor, my guide, and my Irish grandmother. Like, sit down, you know, this like, and she has been that driving force to, you know, I think everybody should have a Kelly in their life. Seriously, I think everybody needs somebody that cares enough about them to call you on your stuff. You know, not to be mean or just to help you be a better person. You know, I remember with my grandmother, you know, she was that typical Irish Catholic grandmother, and she just had a soothing way about her, you know, and she could, you know, like the cousins would bring the babies over to Aunt Gertie, and, you know, because she could calm. So she would just do like this thing like, they are, you know, and I think everybody needs to be, like, say, you're all right and it's going to be okay. I think we just need that. It's like there's so much chaos in your life, but somehow somebody's going to step in and say, you're going to be okay. So I had the surgery. I was out of the hospital the next day, back into my life, because I've spent, at that time, like 25 years working with naturopathic doctors. So I was really healthy. Friends of mine says, when are you going to get the surgery? I'm already done. I'm back in my life. And then I was fine for 4.5 years. And then the cancer came back. And it came back with an aggression. And so a year ago, not this past Valentine's Day, but a year ago, I was called into the hospital, and the oncologist said to me, your cancer has returned. It's treatable but not curable. If you don't do chemo, you'll be gone in 4 to 6 months. And I just sobbed and wailed and screamed, and it's like, how do you go from, my surgeon said, you'll be good to go, and I was for a while. And then it was awful. But I had my Kelly, and that was the woman, she's my go-to gal. She's the one that's like, it's just a real blessing. So I went through the chemo, and the whole time I have a lot of friends across the country that are in prayer groups or spiritual communities or whatever. And there's one in California that is an incredible healing prayer ministry where miracles happen. It's unbelievable. So I reached out to them, and so the whole process. So my oncologist in Nashua happens to come from India. So she was more of a holistic doctor, So the whole thing is I became an advocate for myself, and I had to fight for a lot of things. And I had a lot of personalities with nurses, and I just went to the doctor, and I just said, you know what? I don't want to work with her. And I'm not. She's not treating me well. And
see, if more people were outspoken like that, when the MAs like that, or the nurses, maybe they would change that. I'm proud of you for doing that.
And the thing was, it was hard to do because sometimes you do that and then you pay a price because then, like that. And so finally I just said to them, I says, this is not a popularity contest. I am fighting for my life. And I didn't realize that the nurses and the doctors were really proud of me. After a while, the nurses were asking me, well, what naturopathic doctor do you work with? What are those supplements that you're taking, And it's like, and so it was, but they admired me because a lot of them would tell me that they're not happy with the healthcare and the way it's going, and it's a business and all these kind of things. And so I wasn't comfortable. The whole experience with the cancer was trusting my intuition. Every step along the way, I had to really go deep and really trust, because I was terrified. In Western medicine, what could save your life can take your life. Mm-hmm. So they keep harping on the quality of life or the quantity of life, the quality of life, the quality of life. Quantity. It's like, so I didn't have a choice. I had to have chemo or I die. And so I didn't have a good feeling, because I told them, I said, I haven't had a drink in 39 years. I eat healthy. I don't do pharmaceuticals. I don't do over-the-counter drugs. My body is pure. And they didn't really understand that because I'm not the norm. So they're putting all this stuff in to save my life. That is, after the first round of chemo, my doctor told me, because I had such a horrific experience, that she was afraid I'd go into anaphylactic shock and die. Because it was just, you can't put that stuff in a clean body. But, we have to do whatever. You're the doctor. And then my doctor was out sick for 3 weeks, so there was another doctor, and I didn't like him. I didn't trust him. Something inside of me. And when I went in, he wasn't even looking at me. He just kind of flipped through the page. I said, did you read this? Did you read any of these notes? He just wouldn't. I knew he didn't because of the answers he's giving me. Excuse me. So the next time I went for the chemo, I woke up at 6:30. I posted something on Facebook. I said, round 2 is coming today. Pray for me. Please pray for me. And off I went. And then there's a prayer friend of mine in Rye, and I was on the phone with her while I was waiting for the chemo. And 15 minutes later, they gave me the chemo. I had a reaction. I'm screaming, and they're running over, and I could have died. So all of those prayers, it was my intuition telling me that something was going to happen. So God intervened and saved my life. And it wasn't like those near-death experiences that people talk about, but I knew in my heart and my soul that God saved my life for a purpose. So I had, I'm not going to get into the specifics, but they had to change the chemo. I do want to share this because I think it's important. It is important. after I had the reaction, they gave me oxygen and whatever. And the reason they do the chemo in a hospital is for that purpose. Something happens, they get them into the hospital so that they can take care of them. So anyways, after I had the reaction, I looked at them, I says, give me an Ativan. You know, and they says, fine. I says, so the nurse comes running over and she says, well, we're going to have to continue the treatment. I says, no, you're not. You just traumatized the heck out of me, you know?
That's right, you can say hell.
Okay. So she says, well, you're going to get charged for this. You know, the insurance won't cover this. You're going to get charged for it. I looked at her and I said, you guys figure it out. You figure out how to write this up.
Wait, she said you were going to get charged
Yes,
for it? That wasn't worried about your health? And wasn't worried?
Well, no, she was making, no. She was making sure that I was aware. They have to. It wasn't they didn't care about my health. She wanted to know that I would get personally charged. The insurance wouldn't pay for it.
On money.
I know. So I looked at her and I says, you figure this out. I'm leaving now, and I'm going to contact my team of doctors, and I'll get back to you. But if I hadn't done that, and I had succumbed to all of that, I could have died. Mm-hmm. That's why I really want to let people know, it's not just in a cancer or whatever, in your daily life, it's really important to really start to listen to that voice, you know? And so I was cancer-free after the 3 1/3 rounds of chemo, and I was cancer-free for 6 months, and then it came back.
It always comes back.
See, one of the things about chemo, it's not the cancer itself. I really believe that. I believe it's a chemo and a radiation. Do you agree with that?
Chemo is toxic, actually. The side effects, if you look at the package insert on...
Oh, it's terrible.
It would tell you it's a cancer-causing agent.
One of my roommates, I've had so many partners all at the same time, you know, but one of my friends and one of my roommates, he had cancer. And I truly believe that the chemo killed him, because it went from that. Plus, he didn't have the proper medical care when he went to CNC. All they would do is give him Tylenol and codeine. And finally, I went out and said, you know what, you're going to do something more than that. Just because he doesn't have insurance doesn't mean he doesn't deserve to have the right care. And by the time that time, then they gave him this is how much medical cost. They gave him some experimental drugs, $300 a pill, $3,000. Okay, they gave him one pill, and the next day or the day after that, we found him dead. That's why they call him practicing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know, it's when it came back, I was devastated. Like, I gave up hope. It's like, why? Well, no, I'm telling you the truth.
Yeah.
I gave up hope because I'm like, so I said, even though I had a Mass General doctor and the best oncologist in New Hampshire, I said, I can't live with myself unless I go to Boston. So I said to the Mass General doctor, find me a doctor, Dana-Farber, and you handpick her, and I will get there. And I did.
Well, they have one over on Route 3A.
That is not a that has a Dana-Farber name, but they are not Dana-Farber doctors.
Oh, because the one I thought the one I had was like.
Well, that's
13.
because Deb Cross asked that question. Because when I found out at Southern New Hampshire Medical Center that I was working with a Mass General doctor, but because she's not a Southern New Hampshire Medical Center doctor, my care had to be transferred to their medical doctor, and she has no say, really. It's that doctor under the care. That's why when I was thinking about Dana-Farber and Londonderry, I asked to speak to the office manager personally, and I asked that question. Oh,
Good
no.
for you.
Well, this is, yeah.
It's your life.
It is. And, you know, I mean, this could be a 6-hour show about Western medicine and how whatever is going to save your life can take your life. But I'm really working really hard to just talk about and share how I was my advocate, and I have to focus on the good and the people, you know, because, well, so I went to Dana-Farber. You're going to love this. Now, this is the big cancer best in the world, and my doctor, she's, you know, having this conversation. I want to know you as a person. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. I mean, this is the big deal thing. And so she's looking through my chart. She says to me, I see that you wrote a book. I said, how did that get in my chart? She says, can you talk to me about that book? I went, you got to be kidding me. She says, it's the whole person that we treat, Deb. And I went, wow. I mean, you're in a whole other world when you're at Dana-Farber. I mean, it's the best medical minds and scientists in the country or the world. And they all collaborate. And what's really neat is that they can just go down the hall and talk to somebody from Brigham and Women's or Boston Children. All three hospitals are connected by either a hallway or a bridge. You know, those things, walkways, whatever they call them. And so I'm there, and I'm like, so she came up with a game plan, and then they put me on these estrogen blockers, and one of the side effects is blood clots. So I wasn't feeling that bad. It felt like an urgency, but something said, you know, well, call the doctor. No, you've already called her twice this week. And then this voice kept saying, no, you probably, well, it does, I don't feel, call the doctor. And I called, and she said, first thing tomorrow morning, you're going to be here and you're going to do a CAT scan. So I did, and I had blood clots in my lung. It's either caused by the estrogen blocker or cancer of itself. And then I was derailed. I said, here we are, the best, you know, this is the best that the best can give me. Then I'm in trouble here, you know. And so it was, and then I went back to Dana-Farber. And so I've got to go for an MRI next Tuesday because she wasn't pleased with the quality of the scan from New Hampshire. And I just hope that this, you know, this works.
I love what you said, how you question the background of the doctors. When they're fighting, you know, Dana-Farber or whatever.
Yeah.
Because when I went to see him think and they supposedly had a bad heart or whatever, they got all upset. Because I dared to question what qualifies them to run the machines. Or I dared to question. Now, if I question Dr. Jodie here, what qualifies her, she's not going to be shy about it, are you? And you know, it means that you've learned, and that means you've studied. And I love a lot of these other herbalists, and please don't think I'm categorizing you with these other doctors. Oh, we know how to do this. And, oh, my God, we know how to do that, when they know absolutely nothing. You have spent years of studying, have you not? Mm-hmm. And then did not come home at night, right?
Well, no, I mean, I've researched and then re-researched and then, you know, researched other stuff because, again, not everybody's the same. They're different. So, you know, what I would recommend for one, I wouldn't recommend for another. You know, I mean, there is a basic protocol that, you know, I do have people follow, but then I have, you know, people that I have on one thing and somebody else with the same issue on something else.
So I think that's incredible. You know, by the way, God wanted you here to speak today.
Really?
Otherwise you wouldn't be here.
Well, yeah.
Let's be honest, okay? That's right. And I think it's interesting to hear what your story is. Here we have the holistic, did I pronounce that right? Hey, I got it right. Lori would be proud, wouldn't she?
know.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen often.
No. But to think that, you know, here we got someone that has been working with Western medicine. Your Eastern medicine, what they call it, you know, I don't know the difference, but that's okay. I'm more of an Indian type herbal medicine, I guess. Smoke the pot and I'll feel better every day.
Well, there you go. See?
There you go. As long, you know, the main important thing is, Debbie, I don't ever want to see you give up.
Oh, I can't.
I want, whenever you feel you're going to call me. You got that right, folks? You know my number. Do I have your word on that?
I hired a naturopathic oncologist who was one of the best in this area. And I worked directly with her. So she trained at the Cancer Center of America in Philadelphia. So what the naturopathic doctor is oncologists, they're trained to give you supplements to counteract the horrible things that the Western medicine drugs are doing to your body. And so I had a really good team, you know, in place. And then when it came back, I was like, you know, I wanted to just go totally against, you know, not do Western medicine anymore. And, you know, but I couldn't afford to hire naturopathic doctors will do they do IVs, but they're extremely expensive and no insurance pays for it. So then I just had to succumb to, okay, God, I'm in their hands. I mean, all the nurses at the hospital, they just love me. You know, I'm in really good hands. And one time I was in there and I was like, I wish I could get this kind of reception from out in the world with people. I says, that doesn't happen. And one of the nurses looked at me, she said, Deb, you take love wherever you can get it. So I'm gonna segue into the photos
Yeah,
now.
that's fine.
Yeah. So what happened is I came up with this idea. As I'm going through chemo to keep myself somewhat sane, I sat at my computer and started working on my photographs. And I was obsessed because I had like 3,000 pictures and I kept going over them and over and over them. But the whole experience was a God experience because God was guiding me to come up with a new genre, if you will, of photographs. So a friend of mine didn't think she was a good photographer. So she had a really cheap Walmart camera, you know, point and shoot thing, but her photographs were spectacular. So what happened was I said, well, how am I going to salvage these because the pictures were too grainy because of the quality of the camera. So I stumbled on these in Photoshop, like filters and all these kind of things. And so then in Photoshop, there's a cropping tool that's what it's for. But then there's an enlargement tool. And again, all of this was God guided. And I stumbled on this enlarging tool, and all of a sudden, it cropped the picture where the human eye would never think of doing it. So what I created it was a whole process of about 2 years to come up with what I'm going to show today. And then something said that I personally, as a photographer for my 50 years or 60, whatever, I'm tired of the typical sunrise, sunset, want these beautiful, you know, waves crashing, whatever. And I said, I want people to heal, and I want to have it be a feeling. So I'm just going to, I don't know if with the reflection off the paper, but this is, can you see this?
Yep.
Right? Oh, okay. So here we have, there's one. This is your typical. So I decided to take 3 different photographs and put them together.
Can you explain explain what the meaning on each one of them are?
Well, it's not so much. It was more about a feeling, Norm. Mm-hmm. Well, all of these pictures. My family had a home on Rye for 60 years, right on the ocean. So 95% of these photographs are from Rye. It was at the marsh. It was at the sunrise in the ocean. The sunsets there. The flowers, all of the flowers came from Fuller's Garden in Northampton. And, you know, everything that I do is all God guided because the day was.
You know, as I'm looking at this one,
Yeah?
okay, I don't think Kim can see it. I'm seeing a lot of healing energy.
Yeah.
Don't you? I see a lot of spiritual energy that's very healing. Purple or lilac, and look at the dew.
Well, see, that's just it. The day I went to take the pictures, this was God.
Yeah.
I mean, how many times can you go? I mean, when you're taking nature, you can never plan on it be a sunny day, or you know, it's like it had rained the night before.
And that's why you were meant to take that picture.
Yeah. I mean, I have.
Because what it's doing, that picture is showing you that God's love and transparency of healing. Does that make sense to you? Mm-hmm. And what it's doing, you're looking here and you're seeing all the tears of healing. I would probably call that picture the tears of healing.
Yeah, I haven't gotten that far without naming
it. Sounds good.
Yeah. And this other one here.
See, those are all manipulated in Photoshop.
Look at this one. I love this one. You know, we can get them closer. We look great.
These are all legitimate photographs.
Oh yeah.
That's his blue sky with the rays and the clouds, and I just
look at the healing in there. Look at the love in the healing.
He's all excited.
I want you to feel excited about this because God had a plan for these pictures for you.
I know.
Okay. If one wanted to, we can't say the price, but if one would like to purchase some of them, how would they get a hold of you?
CelebrateYourLifeStudio@gmail.com.
CelebrateYourLifeStudio@gmail.com.
Yep.
Okay, and if you want to, you can put a link on my Facebook too. I mean, on my website.
Okay.
And how about you, Mary?
Yep.
Yep. We'll try to promote them. How about you?
Sure.
Okay. We'll promote you.
Thank you. Now look at this.
That's a darkness that you went through.
Yeah.
See the water?
Thank you for mentioning that, because what I've learned is, with this experience, is a lot of people are afraid to have pictures of darkness. You know, and a lot of spiritual people in my life, they like to bypass their emotional body, and they're just going to zoom in like, I'm fine, and let's go meditate more, or go to a guru, or whatever. And it's like, you got to deal with the darkness. You have to deal with the stuff.
Doesn't that remind you of darkness? But see how the water is showing you how the carbon, how it's bringing you out of the darkness?
Yeah, this is all nature. I mean, this is all, you know, it's I don't know, probably drawing the
There you go. No, that's good. You got to have darkness in order to grow.
You do, because you can't just buy, I mean, look at this thing.
Yeah. See, that's beautiful. The one in the center is a ray of hope of healing and healing. I have no idea.
Everybody loves this. Well, it's a different variation of this photo, so I'll just.
Yeah.
All right, so let me just.
Well, I don't know where. This is the spirit telling me what to tell you for.
But look at this.
That is beautiful. See up top there?
Yeah.
And then if you. I want your opinion too, and yours too. See up here where you had the cloudiness of where you were going through that darkness.
That's Photoshop.
Yeah, but it's still sitting. Okay, here and over here, it's when they had like a thunder shower on your body and the stuff that's going through. Here is where you see that is where you're actually getting the healing, according to your energy healing. I have no idea where this is coming from.
Now that
Okay, spirit is telling me what to say. If I don't listen to my spirit, we're all in trouble. Don't you agree?
That is one of my. I didn't realize that's really one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Because I look at it myself, but when somebody else is holding them up, you know,
it's different.
Yeah. See, this is where you see all the energy in here. If you can feel the energy, do you see it? And if you feel the energy in here, it's actually what it's doing is going to your brain, no matter how small your brain is. No, I'm going to take it on you now. But it's going into that, and it's bringing a lot of healing. I'm very honored that you have these with you.
Well, you know, this was a
pleasure and
whole
honor.
process. Look at this. I mean, we saw this one before, and I'll show it to them.
Thank you.
It's like, this is really powerful.
Oh, that's all very, very powerful. Look at the angels in the background.
Yeah.
What do you see with it, Mary?
It looks like the angel.
Right in here, through here, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Look at the healing of love, the healing. What do you see with it?
yeah.
I see the same.
You see the same thing?
I do.
The middle, look at the angels there. Boy, you are well protected. I'm a little bit jealous with all those angels, huh?
Nice to have an angel around with you.
Absolutely.
Well,
I like that one right there, that one on top
This
there.
one?
Oh my goodness. See the two? You don't mind me.
No, here.
Okay, good. Look at these two here. Look at these two. Evil, good. Evil, good. See how the evil is backing away and the good is coming through? Is that what do you say? And over here, see how that darkness is over here and all that beautiful ray of light that's coming through. And this is the victory power. Oh, that's just getting energies from there. Oh my God. Feel it, see what you get out of it, Jodie. And folks, I am not an expert. I'm only going with what my angels tell me.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Okay. So, I am so proud and honored to have you have those pictures.
Well, let me tell you what happened. So
Okay, you tell us what.
well, it's funny because I went to the dollar store, and
I love the dolls.
I never had seen this type of frame before, but it was a frame that had, you know, these three pictures. I mean, you know, three matted things. So then I said, "Oh, this!" I stumbled onto it, and I said, "Thank you, God." So of course they're a dollar store frame. So I brought one to Boston to give to my Dana-Farber doctor, and when I took it out of my backpack, it dropped and it cracked. I thought, "Oh my goodness, what am I going to do?" So the friend that was with me, he just taped it up, and I says, "I'm really sorry this happened." She says, "It's fine, Deb." She says, "I'm going to put it up in my office." So I was really devastated. I says, "What is this?" So then I decided that there was a reason that this happened. I says, "I can't sell these. I can't name the price. And, you know, have somebody have them fall apart when they hang them on the wall." I said, "That would not be good business, and that's not my work ethics." So I went on this search, and I ended up going to a local frame store. And the girl said to me, "Let's put it on foam board." So this is mounted on foam board, and we eliminated the frame, and this is much better than with the frame.
And again, folks, if you want to get a hold of her, she can go to, what is it again?
CelebrateYourLifeStudio@gmail.com.
Okay, and or you can call Dr. Jodie. We'll tell you how to get there, or myself, or Mary. And I'll tell you, I love her spirituality, folks. She's not a quitter. She's not giving up on anything, and I think that's perfectly awesome. You are one of my heroes.
I want to share this cute little story.
Sure.
All right. So the day I brought these into the hospital to get my feedback, there was an 81-year-old man, and he has his black, go to church shoes, and they're freshly polished and all this kind of stuff. And so he's sitting there, and and he's getting his chemo. It's running through his body. Hey, and the nurse says, "Oh, he's back." And they're giving him hugs, and the doctor comes over and gives him a big hug and a kiss on the cheek. And then the woman who brings up the lunches, "Oh, he's here. Let me sit down and we'll have a chat." And I'm thinking, something's really wrong here. Everybody's happy to see each other. And he says to me, and he didn't say to me, but he just said, "Oh, I've been coming here for 10 years," really smiling. And I looked at him and I said, "No, God, this is not going to be, I'm 71, and I'm not going to be spending 10 years of my life in and out of remission." And, and I just said, whatever I need to do, whatever that is. And I didn't have anybody to drive me to Boston. And so I said, I got to get there. So a friend of mine lives in Boston. He says, "I'll meet you at the train station." So I took the bus. And folks out there, for senior citizens, the bus to Boston is only $15 round trip, and takes you right to South Station. You can drive your car to Londonderry, park it for free, and that's what I did. And he met me, and so it was. I'm trying to look at the blessings, but what happened was, if I have the best of the best, and it came back, I was devastated. And it's like my faith in everything and everybody started to waver. And, and right now it's like, if this protocol doesn't work, then I have radiation, which will cause permanent damage to my body. But they just don't know how, much. And so it's been, but it's been hard since it came back, because I was so excited before, and it's really hard to explain, but I can't quit. Sometimes I get really scared.
Mm-hmm.
Well, of course you do. And you live alone, right?
Yeah.
So of course it's scary. And that's like when Mary, she lives alone. She's going through. Now, one thing I will tell you, you're going to be the winner. I'm not comfortable with the radiation for you, but you have to make your own decision.
Oh, no, I'm not.
Good.
Here's another story.
All right.
So I share this openly and willingly because I want people to know. My grandfather was a doctor. I grew up in those days, but it was a different type of medicine. He was a different type of doctor, house calls, all of that. And I've been very blessed that a lot of the doctors God has put in my life are very similar to him. They care about me. They genuinely care about me, literally. I have an naturopathic doctor in Arizona who I worked with, who's lowered her fees. She's making everything happen. It's just, I've been very, very blessed. So I'm not going to get into the specifics of the type of cancer and everything, but what happened was they wanted to hook me up after I got the second opinion from Dana-Farber. They wanted to hook me up with a New Hampshire radiologist, and she's a real pushy broad. So, and something kept saying to me, what they didn't tell me was that they deceived me by telling me that they just wanted to come and mark my body for the possibility, well, they didn't say, whatever, for radiation. What they didn't tell me was they were going to do radiation. And I kept fighting, and I kept canceling. And that doctor called my doctor. He said, "What is this woman doing? She needs to get it," like that. And I just, so I said, "All right, you tell me what to do. I'm going." And I went back, and I looked at her, and I said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I didn't agree to radiation. Why are you pushing this on me?" "You are pushing radiation on me." So I called my doctor. I says, I don't want to have anything to do with that doctor again ever. Well, I says, I'm telling you, I don't trust her. And then I'm thinking, what have you just done? You know, how are you going to get to Dana-Farber? You know, and it's like, it doesn't matter. And one of the things that I learned was, because I'm a people pleaser and approval seeker, that it was hard for me to say, I trust my doctors, but I'm going to Dana-Farber. And they said, it doesn't matter. We really encourage you to do that, you know? And there was one doctor that, when I was sick, I had to, I confronted her. Did not go well. And the phone calls going back and forth. I says, my intuition is telling me I'm not taking this antibiotic. I looked at the side effects, and then back and forth for 3 hours, you know? And then finally the message come, well, it isn't really necessary. Thank you.
They wanted the money.
No, it was what the thing was, Norm, that a lot of them had a lot of issues with me working with a naturopathic doctor. And
You must run into that.
Me? Yeah, for the most part. I will recommend something to somebody, and I'll give you an example. A few years ago, I recommended somebody that had cancer go on what we call the Gerson therapy. It's mainly 30 juices a day, raw fruits and vegetables, soups, that kind of stuff. And it's been known to cure cancer. And that person was told not to do it because they weren't sure how the juicing itself would affect the chemo. Again, it's only fruits and vegetables, so.
Yeah. I'm a firm believer. I don't have a major problem with chemo. I have a major problem with radiation. And radiation, what does it do? You radiate something, it burns something.
It burns.
Right?
Yeah.
You radiate it.
How true.
And I'm sure I'm sorry, but I believe, this is my whole heart, I believe that there's a lot more cure for cancer without the radiation, without the chemo, but they don't want, the pharmaceutical company does not let people to know, because people like Dr. Jodie could be proven bright.
It's illegal to cure cancer in this country. Illegal. Like
Really?
doctors can't even cure cancer. No. That's why this battle with, trying to cure cancer for the last 50 years, it's gotten worse and worse and worse. It's illegal. You can't cure it.
I believe that people are born with cancer.
Well, everybody's got cancer cells in their body.
Yeah, everybody
And it
does.
comes,
Yeah.
you don't cure it, you arrest it.
And all a cancer cell is an abnormal cell.
I had to clear every supplement with my doctor, and they go through their own pharmacist, and they check the ingredients.
Really?
Yeah. They're very, because they know a lot of their patients, not a lot, but some of them work with supplements and naturopathic doctors. So the protocol now is that before I could ingest anything from my naturopathic doctor, it had to be cleared by them.
And do they clear it for you?
They do, because I'm very vocal, And there was one, and it was like, because, in all fairness to them, is that this is not their training. So in a way, they're being very professional, in terms of making sure that there's no counter. Like one of them, they wanted me to one of my supplements, I'm on a blood thinner because I had the blood clots, and I'm still on it. Yeah, so from the chemo, whatever. But so fortunately, I looked at the list on the supplement, and it said, if you're on a blood thinner, don't take this. And I'm thinking, oh my God, if I didn't scroll all the way down, I would have taken this supplement. So I see the value in what they do. But unfortunately, if they're adamant that they don't like and agree or believe, like for me, I says, I have candida. Well, we don't, that's not food. We're not worried about your food. It's like, you got to be kidding me. So, but Norm, it was funny because I was thinking, and I actually saw my PCP this morning, and I said to her, I think I have the solution. She said, what is it? I said, if you step back, like say you're an alien that just landed on this earth and you didn't know anything about anything, and you're looking at Western medicine, it's like, how come the best medical minds and the best scientists in the world, and the best that they can do is come up with medication that has side effects that could kill you? Like, that is ludicrous. I mean, every ad you see on TV, well, this would be great. Well, how are you going to relax, like, say it's an antidepressant when, well, you could have suicidal effect, like, don't, it's like, how, every time I took medication, Western medicine, I would stand at the sink and I'm like, is this going to kill me? What side effect I'm serious. I have never
That's
once.
why I won't take pharmaceutical medicine.
Well, I didn't have a choice, Norm, and that was
but I
scary.
mean,
No,
me.
yeah. So I'm thinking, I said, okay, I've been working for 28 years with naturopathic doctors. I have never once, with all the supplements that they've given me, ever worried about whether I'm going to overdose or have a reaction or whatever. And so I'm thinking, and there's such animosity from the medical profession and naturopathic doctors that some doctors have screamed at me, like, I'm not going to treat you. They're quacks and just awful things. It's like, you know what? You're judging them. You don't have a clue. You just don't know. So I'm thinking, why can't, which will never happen, maybe, but if the medical doctors sat down with a group of NDs and said, hey, wait a minute, you guys are onto something here. Mm-hmm. All your supplements, they don't cause side effects. Geez, maybe we could, figure something out. And I'm like, yeah,
they actually can't. If they even recommend you eating better, they can actually lose their licenses.
Oh, I believe
They've been
that.
threatened by the AMA that if they do anything on a natural level, they can lose their licenses.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yep,
there was a doctor in Connecticut that was treating people with Lyme quite successfully, and they had a hearing. They revoked his medical license, and then they had a hearing because all these people started, obviously in an uproar because he was curing kids. He was curing Lyme disease, and the board came at the AMA. They suspended his license.
See, that's because the AMA and the pharmaceutical company control the United States of America. They don't care about Debbie getting better. They don't care about what you can do to help her get better. They're looking at the dollar sign. And the sad part is, you'll notice that they call it practicing. Because look at all these new medication they have about for what Mary has in the diabetic medicine. Do this. Now they have a drop that you can take. It's supposed to last 4 days, and all this stuff. But then the side effects, like you just said, that is enough to scare the hell out of anybody. I won't take it like that. I would rather die in a lot of pain than call Dr. Jodie. Jodie, I'm in pain. What can I do?
Yeah, I won't see doctors anymore. I haven't seen a doctor in 6 years.
Yeah. Well, my doctor probably won't see me anyway because I tell him off. But see, and the thing that they get upset about, like, that you're not shy about telling how long it took you, what right you had to call yourself a doctor. A lot of these, like when I wouldn't have my heart tested about 8 years ago, I said to her, "What qualifies you to run that machine to check my heart?" And he's going to ask you your qualifications. They got really mad. But if you have an auto mechanic and you want to know what qualifies in, just fix your car, right? If I meet a hot young man, I want to know what qualifies. No. But
I just want to know what he looks like while he's fixing my car.
Right, especially bends over. But I want to know what experience they have, and I don't like the idea of an LMA drawing blood from me. I will refuse to go. And that's another reason why. If an LMA can draw, or you go to go get the flu. Boy, they're really rapid on the flu shots, aren't they? I mean, you go to Rite Aid, you go to CVS, you go to Walmart, you go to Hennepin. What qualifies them? And if you're a Rite Aid technician and you get shots, call me. Call this show at what's the number 640-3091. And tell us what qualifies you to sit in an unsanitary condition and give a shot. And you know and I know they're not sanitary. I made a big complaint about Hennepin one day. She said, "You have no right to judge me." I go, "Oh, I absolutely do." I said, "Well, I love it when people like the Democrat tell me I have no right to judge." Oh, I sure do, being a nurse as long as I was. And if I saw something like Debbie going over there, they get a flu shot, and the place that she's sitting in there, and all that dirt, that bacteria going through there. And I watched one lady not chase a needle, and I said, "I filed a complaint," and she got up and left immediately. And even the doctor, and they say that the most sickest people that are dying are in the hospital. Look at the rates. CMC has a big chart on how many people die from callous mistakes and stuff like that. So, Debbie, you keep on doing what you're doing because you're doing the right thing for you. And
Well,
you
you
don't
know-
look 71, by the way. I was surprised when you said
Well,
that.
you should have
wasn't
seen that when I was at the Memorial High School talking to the high school students. I mentioned that, and this little boy, this young man, boy, whatever, in the front row was like he was like you got to be kidding me. But I want to share with you when I decided to go and get the second opinion at Dana-Farber. People are saying and were really like nasty to me. Well, what's the matter with you? You know, they're qualified here. I said, are you crazy? I said, are you really? It's like, and so they were justifying around, well, you're different. You know, you're not like us. We can, and it's like, why would you not want to go to Dana-Farber? Why would you? Well, it's hard to get to Boston. It's like it's your life. But they're so locked in. It's like, well, this is a really good doctor. Yeah, maybe. Well, they've all got, gone to medical school. Well, what school did they go to? There's a difference. That's why they have Harvard Medical School and Dartmouth and all these things. It's the quality. It's like, why? I mean, it was like they were harassing me, making me feel like something was wrong with me because I'm the odd one that, you work with naturopathic doctors and like whatever. And I'm like, it's like, I'm tired of trying to convince them that if you want to settle for less in your life, and you're, well, it's an inconvenience to go to Boston. Yeah, it is.
But it's your life.
That's right. And it's like, but, I remember back in the day when doctors, were God. Well, probably a lot of us.
Oh, yeah.
But you got the old, like my grandparents' generation. It's like, oh, they delivered all 6 of my children. He's just wonderful. You don't look too healthy with me. Well, I have to stay with them because, I got a history with them. You're really getting sicker.
They really do. And doctors are treated like gods.
Yeah, and so
Yeah, what
and
they
it's
say
like,
goes.
Get a reality check. It's like, well, he's been with the family for 40 years, and
My first mother, bless her heart, before I went to, make sure you change your underwear
oh yeah,
and wear clean socks.
Yeah,
And
that's right.
God
then
forbid you get into an accident.
Yes,
you have to
that's
go to the
right.
hospital.
Yeah,
And then with
or
the
you got to put your pants out to the doctor, make sure you're clean, and all that. But, I encourage everyone, like you did, Debbie, I encourage everyone to always get a second opinion.
And ask questions.
Oh,
A lot
yeah,
of people
don't-
don't ask questions.
But sometimes
They don't like it
even-
when you do it, but
yeah, but sometimes you don't even know what to ask. Who would ever think of calling Dana-Farber in Londonderry and asking the question if they're Dana-Farber doctors coming from Massachusetts to that hospital? I mean, to that. Nobody would think of doing that. And why would you? Why would you ever think to ask that
Well,
question?
folks, as you're hearing us now, if you're watching out there in TV land or on that, when we download it, we're all going to say, don't be afraid to ask questions because you're not retarded, and don't let them treat you like a second class or a long class citizen. I know a gentleman who went in because he didn't have insurance, and they got him in and got him out like my roommate. And I said, "What'd they do for you?" "Oh, nothing." If you don't have insurance and top grade insurance at that, you're not going to get the proper care. I dare anybody in that hospital to default. I got a bill one time. This is a funny story. CMC told me I owed them $250,000.
for
They
what?
go, and I said, for what? They said I had a heart operation.
Really?
Yeah. Funny, I didn't know it.
You didn't? You
I
weren't?
just think I should have known.
You must have been knocked out really good
Yeah.
then.
So I went to the business office. I went one of them, and I took my shirt. I said, "Do I look like I have had a heart surgery? Get out of here! We're going to have you arrested." I go, "No, we're going to straighten this out. Have me arrested, but I'll turn around and sue you. If I don't know, it's pretty bad if I don't know if I have heart surgery. Wouldn't you agree?"
Yeah, it's pretty invasive.
So, but I've been blessed with my healing because I do follow a lot of the things I hear, and believe it or not, is from what my friend Lori said, or you might say, "Is this what you really want?" I don't do the flu shots. They wouldn't let me in the hospital unless I wore a mask. They wouldn't even let me wear a mask to see my friend. Why are they so afraid of us going into the... I would be willing to wear a mask to see somebody if that's what they want. Why? Because all they want is to give you that what do you call it, the serum to give you the flu shot, which has no meaning to it. My son had it. He was sicker than ever.
You know, I was funny because I was flipping through the Facebook today and I actually saw this thing and it makes a lot of sense. If you took each of those ingredients and individually fed your children, you would actually go to jail or in prison because it's all poison.
Yeah.
But yet they can put it in a bottle, throw it in a syringe, and give it to you.
Have you found out now that vaccine shots had when you and I were kids, when we had to have them, they're not good for us either. They actually, they actually create a lot of diseases.
Absolutely. The polio one that they gave, what, in the 40s and 50s?
Yeah. I had polio when they still gave me the shot for it. What good did a polio shot do when I already had it, But I was fortunate. I have foster parents that worked every day with me to help me to walk, talk, and whatever. When I first started talking at 4 years old, my foster mother said, "You never shut up." Debbie, I always want you to be vocal. I want you to come back on at least once every other month if you can. I always want you to be vocal. I want people to see what the courage that you are to the rest of us. You agree with that? And I want you to say, "I made it, I did it, and I'm going to do it again." Okay? And I want to thank you for coming on.
Thank you.
Okay.
It was my pleasure.
Okay, you have any more comments?
I guess I just want to end with, I personally am disgusted and appalled with the healthcare and the lack of, and the greed and all of that. So that's why, but I do want people to know, in my experience, is that there are really good people
Absolutely.
who are still working in this field.
Absolutely.
And actually, one of them said to me, was doing the PET, she says, I left, I'm not going to name the hospital, but big Boston hospital, because I couldn't stand the politics anymore. So even though they're still working in this environment, my experience with this whole year of cancer stuff and a revolving door is that the ones who work there are feeling the same angst as we are. And they are the good doctors and nurses who, old school,
Who wanna help people.
Who want to help. Now, when I went in, because they said to me, they went for the CAT scan and they didn't tell me to stay and wait for the results, I drove home, and then they're calling me, "You got to get back here. You got to get back here. You got a blood clot. We got to stop the injections." Like, oh, so I had to drive back. And when I walked in, all of the nurses were standing there like, "Oh my God, Deb," with this sad face, "We are so sorry." I've experienced that, but it's because I'm of the type of person that I am. But I want to give people hope that, yes, it's a very corrupt system, and it disgusts and appalls me. But find a way to and if you're not happy, be vocal. It's not a popularity contest. It is your life. And there are some really good, sometimes it's a challenge to work through the system and walk away from this doctor or that hospital, whatever, but it's trusting you're hearing, listening to that voice inside and acting on it.
And that's it. I'm not saying all medical field staff are bad. There's a lot of very good nurses out there, do PAs, whatever. There's very good doctors. But I also got to say, I'm glad I left nursing when I did. 32 years was long enough. And I've seen the changes and the changes and
it's
the
disgusting.
Changes. It really is.
They don't care about you as a person.
Not anymore,
You're their cash cow.
You're only a number.
You're a number. And they really don't care. And how they can live with themselves.
And it's funny because a lot of, especially like, the vaccine schedule and everything else, a lot of doctors don't even follow that for their own kids because they know, but yet they'll push it on you.
One time, I'm not going to say...
They're told by the CEO, right. You have to, you're spending too much time with that patient.
Right.
You're going to lose your job.
Every 15 minutes,
Oh, no, sometimes it's 10.
Really?
And they're called on it.
Yeah. And I went, I'm not going to say where I went, but there's one hospital I was supposed to be there at 2 o'clock for the appointment. And I went up at, 1:45. And went over and I said who I was, and come 5 o'clock, I said, "Why aren't I called?" And she said, "Oh, we didn't realize you were here." I said, "I was here early." I said, "Now, if I was late, you'd bill me, right?" I said, "Now, am I going to see the doctor?" "Oh, no, we're closed, we're going home now." And I looked at her and I said, "So I don't expect to get billed?" "Oh, no, that's not our fault." I go, "Yeah, it is." So, Even you can be the most poor person in the world. But the sad part is, like you just said, and then again, I'm not going to say all doctors, I'm not going to say all
they're not all
PAs,
bad,
they're all
but-
bad. But when they start learning, it's all about the dollars. They get a lot of money being an RN today compared to what I got,
You
And
know,
that's okay.
what really infuriates me is because, and I've said this to doctors, I said, I don't want to hear from you anymore how disgusted you are with this, or I'm sorry we have to do this, whatever. It's like, you have the power to confront the insurance companies, the pharmaceuticals, and the CEOs and say, you know what? We didn't go to medical school and spend all that time and training and money to have you tell us and dictate how we practice medicine.
Well, look
I
at the
said,
HMO.
The public can't do it, but you as doctors say, hey, you know what? We're done. I cannot live with myself treating patients the way that I do, or you're telling me to do. And they won't. It's like, well, then how can we fix it? We can't.
No. Well, that's like the HMO. They can only only when they're a certain doctor and the approval and all that. And if you don't have that doctor on your list, then you're not going to go.
Yeah, out of network, you'll pay out of your pocket.
Yeah.
You can even have that doctor on your list, but if you don't have the insurance, they won't take you.
Right. Yeah,
But
that's
I've
what I
been
mean.
refused. I've been refused.
All right, no, so what are we going to do about all of this?
We're going to work hard. We're going to fight to change it. And one person, it's like a mustard seed. One person with a loud mouth like you have and I have and she has and you have, right, when you get going.
When I get going.
One mustard seed can work it. And we can first of all, we need to talk to our state reps. We need to talk to our U.S. Congress people. I'm not going to mention names because they don't listen anyways. And I make a lot of
I've
enemies.
tried that already.
Yeah.
And
Well, if we can all, if they would, there can be changes coming, But the side, like you said, the side effects discourage you.
You know that Mass General Hospital is expanded. They were part of Wentworth Douglas. They're an affiliate. And they expanded Wentworth Douglas to Newington, New Hampshire. Now, I don't want to leave the show on a negative note, but
No.
maybe I just will.
Yeah.
I'm going to drop this bomb, and then you guys can continue this
We will.
conversation afterwards. So this friend of mine in Rye called. She says, geez, Dad, this is really great. Mass General, they're expanding a big, huge cancer center right in Newington, and blah, blah, blah. And I said to her, I said, Judy, that's on the toxic landfill.
And it is.
And it is. With all the hype, I've testified in front of the EPA. I was chosen to testify. They came bring them in from Washington. And I went, you can't make this up. I was devastated. I said, that is, well, we're going to fix this. We're going to do this. We're going to put pipes and whatever. And it's like, isn't that awful?
Yeah. What kills me is that Cancer Center USA, who has all these multiple hospitals all around. So one day I called.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're going to say. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, and I said, I have a very dear friend of mine, and unfortunately doesn't have any kind of insurance. Do you offer any kind of grant or federal? Well, sir, we can't waste our time if you don't have insurance. And they hung up. It's all because they're private. And the thing that kills me is you build a hospital like that, it's taxed. They don't have to pay taxes. And I think that's total. When if you and I built a hospital, we would still have to pay taxes.
Yeah.
Where's the fairness? You can't tell me that the pharmaceutical company doesn't control this country.
Big Pharma owns the government, yeah.
I contacted the Bedford Cancer Center, whatever it is, and because I wanted to see if I could get a ride for the MRI, or at least have somebody pick me up at the train station. And I'm not a city slicker. I get scared in Boston. This little old lady's trying to get from the train station to the So anyway, so the woman says, oh no, I have to direct you to the 800 number. I says, no, I can make that call myself. I said to her, I says, well, what do you offer here? She says, oh, we don't offer that here, the rides. I says, then with this tone, well, what do you offer here? Oh, well, we help people with wigs. That's it? Well, no, we have the road race. This is what your local cancer center offers you, is wigs.
I offered to raise money for the American Cancer Society, having a big psychic fair.
It's a
You know what they
farce.
said to me? Well, we can't advertise because the Christian people may not want to. However, on the day of it, if you take your money and you give it to a member out of your wallet and you give it to one of our members, that's okay. Same way with the Red Cross, same with
United
Salvation
Way, I
Army,
know.
as long as they don't make it, it might affect the so-called Christian. I don't
Well,
believe that for a
I
minute.
called the 800 number, and I just went up one side and down the other with the lovely gentleman that I spoke to, and I asked him for, oh, that's too much to ask for a volunteer. That's an hour drive. I said, excuse me? Oh, I said, well, we can't guarantee a ride. I said, this isn't a little old lady going for an eye doctor's appointment, sir. This is somebody that needs a ride for treatment. This is
They
cancer.
get millions and millions.
Well,
and
so what he
millions
says,
of dollars
yeah.
in.
So he says, well, we get 50,000 calls a week for rides. And in your area in particular, I says, well, I'm just going to go to Facebook and just let it rip. And he says, well, make sure. I says, no, I'll just tell them. It's like, what do you, because all my friends said, well, keep calling, call for a ride. They provide this. So he says, well, in your area, we just don't have the number of volunteers. I said, then don't promote this program. If you can't guarantee a ride, well, these are volunteers, we can't expect them, they're not getting paid, then don't offer the service. Because what the policy is, they will call you the day before to confirm. I said, I'm going for chemo. This is not, you can't just do it 24 hours. And then he says, oh, but I'd called a year ago in February, and I was just going from Manchester to Nashua, and they told me the same thing. Oh, we can't guarantee a ride. These are volunteers, called the day before. What good is that going to do? I got to get to chemo the next day. I just want people to know, and it's like, that's what it just infuriates me that people buy into this, and it's like, how, when you get a cancer diagnosis, you are terrified, because for the most part, it's scary stuff. So then they exploit the vulnerability of people and families, and like, we're really good. And because I'm not housebound, I'm not eligible for any of the services.
Isn't that sad?
But you can get services from the hospital. I mean, they're connected with different agencies and stuff. But I'm like, I really want people to know. Come back like we talked before about the community. Back in the day of the churches, they had these groups that people would come to your house and drive you, whatever,
Keep talking, I'll be
Okay.
right back.
And it's like, now how did we lose sight of that?
Yeah.
Like you were talking before, we went on the air about bartering. And it's like, I believe that we've got to come back and stop hating and hurting each other. I mean, like when I was speaking to the high school students, says we're all wounded, and each one of us wants to be loved. That's what we want. We want to feel loved, appreciated, accepted, and we're all reacting from our own woundedness. So how are we going to help each other to heal?
Yep. I have a friend now that I was telling you about. He just found out that this is his second week now. Today he had to go to Donna Farber for his treatment. And they lost their son almost a year ago, coming up in April, with cancer. And about 3 weeks ago, almost to the day that they told him that he had to go for treatment that Wednesday. Come to find out, their son, they just found out he has cancer. So now the father and son are both fighting it right now. And they lost their oldest son to what?
Is there something in the drinking water?
Yeah, they live out in Merrimack. They've been having trouble out there with their water out there. And it's just...
I'm try very hard to look at the solution, because we can lament, because we've been doing some of that today, these are the problems and all of that. And it's making people aware that there are these issues, but it's like, so how are we going to solve this? How are we going to come together and say, take your power back, like I said before. Stop being a victim and take your power back. How much more can the human spirit and psyche handle? Everybody, I mean, the kids, look at those 2 students that committed suicide from Parkland. And the Sandy Hook father took his own life the day after. You know, it's like whatever we're doing isn't working. And that's why I came up with this stuff. We need to heal. You know, all these things we've tried for generations, has it worked? I don't think so. It's not working.
Yeah.
Talk to the artists and the singers and the songwriters and the musicians and the medicine drum people and, you know, the holistic practitioners. It's like, you know, your way isn't working.
Yeah,
It
how
isn't.
Yeah,
true.
that's what it is.
But how do you know? So he wanted me off the air about probably 20 minutes ago.
Well, I want to thank you for coming on,
Thank
Deb.
you.
It was really informative, don't you think?
Yeah,
You know?
absolutely.
So I'd like to have you come back on in a couple more months.
All right.
I like your voice. I want your opinion, and I want to hear how well you're doing.
Well, you said I'm going to be fine, so I'll hold on to that. Am I going to be fine? Look at it.
You're gonna be fine.
And
Yeah.
if you want to, you're more than welcome to come on. We'll talk about the cancer. I think it should be out there for people to know where they
Cruising
can
with
go.
Mary.
Okay.
People can know where they can go.
Yeah. All right.
She's on every
I have to
Thursday from
thank
5
you
to
for
6.
something.
You do?
I do. Remember I told you I was having trouble with my left eye?
Yeah.
And you told me what it could be?
Mm-hmm.
All these months I kept saying to the eye doctor, there's something wrong with my left eye. Well, yesterday I went, and it was confirmed what you told me
What was that?
about my eye.
Yeah, I mean, when she said.
That they either did it and got air in it,
Thank you,
Okay.
Deb.
You're welcome.
where,
Thank you,
Hi, nice meeting
so
you.
now it's, what do you call it, kind of crumbled up a little bit. That's why I'm getting,
Get her right?
that's why I'm seeing about that much with,
Mhm.
with scratches in my eye. So what they're going to do is use a laser on it. And if that doesn't work, then they said they'll have to do something else, whatever the next thing up. Then, so now I'm on drops now for 3 days.
Wow.
3 days, 3 times a day.
Then this is Dr. Now I'm turning the show over to Dr. Jodie MacDonald. And she's a holistic naturopath.
Holistic practitioner.
I'm sorry?
Yeah, holistic practitioner.
You're right.
Even though I do
Practitioner.
have a certificate in naturopathy, it's under.
The question, my granddaughter's dog that they just adopted has Lyme disease, which I believe is curable. What would you recommend?
For dogs, I would definitely have them. How long ago did they get diagnosed?
2 weeks ago?
Okay, because did they find the tick that bit the dog?
Yeah.
Okay. Normally, you just clean the area really well. Constantly put like hydrogen peroxide, a little bit of coconut oil on the bite. Also, add a little bit of apple cider vinegar in their food, coconut oil, things like that. If it gets really bad, I definally take them to a vet. That's the only time I would take them to a vet.
She goes to the vet now, you know.
Yeah.
That person that she got the puppy from kind of lied to her instead of saying she's actually 8 months old and she was pretty neglected, pretty abused or whatever,
Aw.
you know. And let me tell you, that dog is spoiled now.
Oh, I bet.
Oh yeah, she chewed up 2 of my sons got ulcers because he thought he had down, and she chewed up some shoes, all my
Beagles are
granddaughter's
known for
shoes.
that.
Oh yeah, but she's getting better. They have one of them,
Good.
you know. But love is so important in healing.
Absolutely.
Whether it's,
it's
your
the number
body
one.
healing,
Yeah.
whether it's your healing or my healing, you know, love is one of the most important things that we can do here, you know. And one of the things I am planning on is doing a healing event up in Concord. I'm not just sure the date yet, but I'll let you know. And the problem will go to the person that has the event at Happel. And at Happel going to my charity. So I'll let you guys know. And Mary, you didn't know that, did you?
No, I didn't.
No, well, just
I
come
do
up with
now.
We do now.
This Saturday, folks, I'm going to be up in Concord, at a dojo in Petticoat, I'm sorry, Fisher Hill Road up in Concord, going towards New London and all that area. When I first went there, and I'm talking 50, 60 years ago, oh God, am I getting old, it used to be just a little snack bar, okay, and campground. Now it's a big shopping center. They got all so-called, they take away all these rights for animals. And one of the things I am appalled and I am upset about, everybody says, oh, the animals. Yeah, then stop cutting trees down. Stop building up these
I say
developments.
the same thing.
You know,
Yeah.
everybody says stop using plastic straws.
Straws, containers, cups.
Yeah. And I'm in favor of all that. But use wood. So what are you going to do? You're going to cut more wood. You're going to drive the animal further back.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to use it for paper.
Yep.
You
And they're going to
paper,
complain when
solid.
the animals come out and they're a nuisance
Oh,
because
yeah,
they have
they're so
no place
fat.
else to go.
Yeah. You know. I guess she doesn't want a reading after all. She's hiding in the background there. What'd she say?
Do you want her to come over now?
Yeah, that's why I was waiting. I'm going to swap you over for a minute so I can do a rating on her.
Absolutely.
This is one of Dr. Jodie's friends, Troublemakers Incorporated. You can see that one of both of them. Shy,
A little bit.
unless she's mad. One thing I'm looking at you, too, is even though your journey has not been always easy, would you agree with that?
Yep.
You know, like, but you've always managed to overcome whatever hurdle.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And the person that you're with is your lifetime soulmate. You gotta trust them more. Just because you're pregnant, you can't use that as a temperamental way. Shuffle this for me. One of the, do you want to move?
What?
You want to move?
Yes, we want to buy a house.
You want to move? What if I said I don't see a house in New Hampshire? What if I said I see a house like more like down the northern area, southern area?
I don't think so.
It's going to be one of those places where you're least. It doesn't mean it's going to be right away. People think you automatically everything's going to happen right away. But I also will tell you the baby that you have is going to be very healthy,
Oh, good.
very spoiled, breastfed. You know, and also, but also you will. I don't see any kind of brain damage. I don't see any kind of anything because your body, you're really in tune to your body. Am I correct? Okay, even if you are temperamental. You don't love me anymore.
Well, the hormones have been fun.
Uh-huh. Your feet swell up yet?
They're starting to. I was just sitting over there actually noticing.
How far along?
11 weeks, so.
Oh, so you're still
right into
newy.
it. Yeah.
But I will also tell you, one thing I would encourage you to do is make sure you get plenty of rest. And I want you to make sure that you don't become anemic.
Mm,
And your body, is this your first child?
it is.
Not bad for a 95-year-old lady. I want you to take out 5 cards and not look at them.
Okay.
I'm also looking, your mom and dad pretty excited?
Yes.
His parents are pretty excited.
Yes.
Your husband's really excited.
Yes, he
I am
is.
willing to bet he walks around with his chest sticking out there. And I hope he probably already got the cigars all bought. They don't do that anymore, do they?
Some people do.
Do they? 'Cause-
But you
huh?
know what a lot of them do?
No, I did.
I haven't noticed
They
that.
give tons of jelly out now, even
Yeah.
at wedding.
Yeah.
Jelly.
Jelly.
Because I used to, when my son was born, I went out, even though I didn't smoke, I went out and I bought everybody cigars and all that, you know, big baby boy, 12 pounds, 8 ounces, you know.
Wow.
And I had all the labor
don't-
pains, I had all the
They're
morning
not 12
sickness, and I think more men should actually do that. What do you think? You agree?
Absolutely.
What I'm looking at is, I hope you have a good running vehicle, because when you get going, when you start going, I would probably encourage you to get to the hospital ASAP.
Okay.
Are they going to be painful? Oh, yeah, I'm not going to lie to you. But I actually don't, but I think it's going to be coming quickly.
I hope it's nice and quick.
Natural?
I don't think so.
No, you might
Sorry,
not have any
Jody.
other choice.
Shrug me up.
It's your choice, but you might not have a choice but
Yeah.
to go natural.
If I have to, I guess.
You know, it's up to the angels.
Mm.
And it's going to be very happy. You're going to call your poor husband every name in the book. You know, but that's okay. Because then
That's what
He'll
we do.
forgive me.
I have a question to ask you. Once you've had the child, does the pain or the thought of all the pain go right away? And you're almost ready to have another one?
Yeah, it takes a while. I mean, I try everything once. So I had one child. I
Like
loved
that.
being pregnant. Did not like my labor. It was long. It was painful. It was So I said, you know,
You got a grandchild coming.
no, I don't.
If you do.
No. No.
You agree with me, right?
No.
How old is your son?
Hmm?
How old is you?
27.
Like I said, you gotta. And it's gonna be when you least expect it.
Yeah, well, you better get a job.
You gotta bring it up. You already know that. Ooh, you got a lot of this year for you. Emotionally, it could be touch and go, but you got to be okay. Financially, there's going to be some more improvement coming. I also will tell you, and I tell you buying a house out of state, but I do see you buying another one. It looks like it could be a fixer-upper. Your husband talented?
Yeah. he's
Can he
pretty
do
talented.
carpentry?
I think so.
You
He
can.
at least knows people.
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
You can. If somebody told you or her too that you couldn't do it, you would prove them wrong.
Probably.
Just out of spite. It may look funny-duddy. Oh, hell, I can't even drive a nail in straight. I tried to build up a wall that fell down afterwards.
I like to build
Google
shelves and
anything
stuff,
nowadays.
so
You know.
I can
But I
figure it
actually
out.
see, like, it doesn't need a lot of fixing up, but you're going to get at a good deal. You might rent when the auction to buy, okay? And you like the water, huh?
Mhm.
Okay, because I see it not too far from a lake, which will give you a lot of energy, okay? Your husband is a very good provider, right?
Sure.
No?
I'm more the provider, but
Oh,
that's
yeah, no.
okay.
But you like it better that way, don't you?
Yeah, we're a good team.
What do you do?
I'm a behavior analyst. I work with kids with autism.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow, that's awesome. That's a lot of challenges, isn't it?
I love it.
You don't make enough money at the, because I went
I
to
work
the
for a
mentally
nonprofit.
challenged. Yeah, and I worked for 32 years with mentally challenged, and I think people have less respect for you and I because of that, and we don't work in so-called normal nursing and vibration or whatever. However, I do see you moving to a different position, like a director.
I don't know. We'll see eventually.
Stop doubting.
Well, not where I am currently.
No, you're going to get a different job as a director, okay? 'Cause there are a lot of things that you would like to change, but you can't because of policies or whatever. And you do care about your clients.
Absolutely.
And that's the most important part, you know? I also will tell you, you know what speed tickets are?
What is?
Speeding tickets are?
Yes.
You want one?
No thanks.
How about watching your speed?
Okay.
Okay? And one other thing I also will tell you that I actually see a different employment for your husband. What's he doing right now?
He
Like a
does like
handyman?
lawn fertilizing,
Landscaper.
kind of.
Yeah, but I actually see him moving into a different position because he wants to be the proud man. He wants to make sure he takes care of the child. I see it's a little girl. It could be wrong, but I said he's going to be a proud dad.
Yeah.
Okay. When you first met your husband, you weren't sure if you wanted to get involved in a relationship, were you?
Nope. I was trying to set him up with my friend.
Ah, and it backfired, huh? Aren't you glad it did?
Yes.
How long you been together?
7 years.
Okay. So that's a charm.
Yeah.
And I will tell you, it wasn't always easy in this relationship, right? You both had to learn how to live with each other. Because you're a very
Absolutely.
independent lady.
Yes.
No one's going to change
it
your
off a few
mind.
times.
Oh, yeah. Well, we all did. And Ace of Diamonds, you got a lot of different news coming. I definitely see you buy your house, but it might take another year.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's fine. I
I
was
also-
expecting it to take 5.
That's right?
I was expecting it to take 5 years. So.
Yeah. Okay. You're also a perfectionist in cleaning.
What was that?
You're a perfectionist at cleaning.
Yes.
Everything has to be in a certain order.
Mhm.
Jody and I are more relaxed, but you
Yes.
know where everything is. Okay. Who's the lady that crossed over in your life?
My grandmother.
Okay, you went close to her?
Yes.
Because she's very proud. She says you're going to make a great mother.
Oh.
She says not to let other people tell you how to bring up your children. And by the way, you have another child coming shortly after. You want
That's
two?
the plan. Yeah.
You got a girl and possibly a boy.
I hope so.
Or the other way around. And you're going to don't be a one mother. Be a mother that you know what is right and wrong for the kids. And I don't see any medical or physical problem with these children because you do really take good care of your body. You get a little tension every once in a while.
Yep.
You know. But financially, you're going to be okay.
Okay. Good.
One of the things I also will see is that all the people who when your so-called friend back when, oh, they're going to want to come to see the baby. They're going to want to come and see how it looks. And then they can go back and gossip. Be very selective of the people that come to see your child, please.
Okay.
Okay? And if they don't like it, make them wear a mask. Because that's the thing. When my son went born, I made everybody wear a mask. Oh, yeah. And don't over-clean your house. Let your baby live.
Well, I have 3 dogs, so it's really hard. I feel like I always need to be cleaning my
Yeah,
house.
no. That dogs are going to love that baby. They're also going to become very protective. So make sure that when you pick the child up, that you inform the doggy that you're not going to hurt them.
Okay.
Don't yell at the dogs. Because you have a squeaky voice when you get yelling. Okay.
Just at
But-
the puppy.
But you're going to be, you're going to be fine. Before you met your husband now, you never knew what you wanted to do, did you? You always knew that you wanted to be successful at one time, but you were never sure.
Mm-hmm.
But the person that you're with now is very encouraging to you, isn't he?
Yeah. He basically forced me to pick my profession.
Right.
He encouraged me to actually do it. He said, "You're never going to go back to school." I was like, "Oh yeah, watch me."
See,
The next day I enrolled in school.
See, that's where it came into play. No one's going to tell you
Mm-hmm.
because you know what you want to do. I also will take. You have a master's?
I do.
What if I tell you with a PhD?
No thanks.
Well, what if I tell you? I'm going to challenge you.
Ugh, I don't know about that.
I'm going to challenge you, Jody.
Maybe-
We're going to challenge
Maybe
you.
after
Okay?
the babies.
Yeah,
in the
yeah. I don't
house.
mean it's going to be. See, people think that when I do
Not
a
gonna
reading
be
on
right
them.
now.
Yeah, people think everything's going to happen right now. Don't you agree? No, it's
Why not?
Huh?
Why not?
Because it's not supposed to happen.
Oh,
that
okay.
way. Only when you
I
beat
want it
me
right
up.
now.
Yeah, but only when. Yeah, no, you always want to beat me up right
Yeah.
now. She's so mean to me. Well, actually, Mary came down for St. Patrick. We have a lot of cookouts together, don't we?
We do.
We have a lot.
That's fun.
My son had a dog, Harley.
Oh,
Mary had a steak on that chick kebab. Next thing, Mary was talking about that dog literally just like
Yeah.
that. Did he
Ran
not?
off with it.
We had to run to get the steak out of the mouth.
Because it had the
Yeah,
the
that's
stick
it,
they
yeah.
have, yeah.
You're getting one more dog.
No.
You're getting one more dog.
Maybe you are.
There is one more dog coming.
4?
And once again, it doesn't mean, and it's going to be right away.
Okay.
Because neither you or Jody will tolerate animal abuse. Okay? You may be a foster home to the dog, but you will be getting another dog. Maybe when the baby's 2 or 3 years old. So we'll
Okay.
give you a little reprieve there, okay? Are you allergic to cats?
I am, but I have one.
See, so you're not.
Just a little bit.
But you won't allow that. See, Jody can help you with that, right? Okay. I also will tell you that this person that you're with, like I said, you two are going to be together for a long time. Once this baby's born, watch his energy become more and more. I got to take care of my child. I got to do this. I got to do that. Okay.
Sounds good to me.
But you're happy him being the house husband and you doing the work, aren't you?
Yeah, he's going to stay home with the baby during the winter.
Yeah.
I'm good with
And
that.
yet, well, save a lot of money in babysitters, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Do not allow the government to try to control you and the child. I have no idea why I'm saying this, but the government will try to get their paws into and try to, oh, your baby this, your baby this. Because your baby is going to be very intelligent. Are you intelligent?
I hope so. I like to think so.
There you go. Just say, yes, I am.
Yes.
Okay. You two known each other for quite a while?
A few years.
Yeah.
I bet you fought and disagreed with each other and then become friends again, right?
Not really. Not yet.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
not
you two
yet.
knew each other in your past life.
I'd believe that.
Okay, and you said to what friendship can do, and whatever. You also have a brother.
I do.
You okay with him?
Yeah.
Yeah, he could depend on you a lot too. People depend on you, don't they?
Yeah.
You're like the Rock of Gibraltar, so to speak. But you enjoy that.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have someone depending on you, you feel like a lost soul.
I like to help people. That's
Yeah,
why I do
and
what I
that's what
do
you
for
do.
a job.
Okay, and the one thing about you being behavior model specialist is that you are one that really takes care and is concerned about the client.
Mm-hmm.
Back in the old days, they used to call themselves without a college degree. They'd sit down, oh, when this and that, and I'd say to them, okay, when the child acts up, you come in and you calm the child down because I'm following your program. But you ask the advice of other people to make sure it's going to be the right thing.
Yep.
Meetings bore you, don't they?
Meetings?
Yeah. When you sit around and have meetings with clients and stuff like that, especially when you get to people that think they know it all without know absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
And you have to bite your tongue,
Yeah.
you know. And I'm the same way. Actually, I think you're the same way too. Okay. Does your husband work for himself?
No. He wants to.
I would have definitely. You know what? This would be the go-getter. Does that make sense to you? This would be the go-getter for him. I've got to prove to my beautiful wife, and he does call you beautiful, does he not? I got to come from because if he can work for himself, and I actually see him work a lot of hours. My problem is that I am concerned about his blood pressure.
Yep, me too.
Is he overweight?
No.
No,
I don't
he's a
know.
little underweight, right?
I feel like he used to be.
Yeah.
He used to be
Well,
underweight.
people
but he's
don't.
good
People think just because that someone is overweight that's going to be a problem. People underweight can have blood pressure
now. No, he has
problems
high blood
too.
pressure.
Okay,
He just told me.
but I also will tell you that as long as you can keep him on a healthy meal, you know. But I don't see him following the healthy meal very often.
When I cook healthy stuff that night, he's like, "Okay, I'll just have cereal or pizza."
Yeah, but you know what? That's his choice. But how old is he?
33, right?
Yeah, something like that.
What if I told you
85,
if he isn't
33.
Catholic, he would have an angina attack?
What was that?
What if I tell you if he's not careful and doesn't follow what you're trying to feed him, which is good for him? What if I told you I saw him with an angina attack? You know what that is, right?
Yeah.
You know what that is, right? Yeah. What do you think about that?
I think it's very possible.
He's got to.
We,
You're not trying to hurt him.
we kind of talk about his diet.
Yeah. Well, he's never had anybody care for him like you do. I don't think he had that family background of love like you have given to him.
I don't know. His mom's pretty loving.
But she's also very enabling.
I don't know about. Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't know.
But she's
what they
happy
were
that
like
you're
when
with
they were
him.
Younger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. He's younger than you.
No.
Oh, I was gonna say, you're not the cougar.
No.
You're not more than what? Well, I'm not gonna ask you that.
Well, I just had my birthday last week. 32.
Are you? Oh, you're a young whippersnapper, you know. But I also will tell you, stop crying like a baby. Oh, what you're going to be going through, Jodie, you got a lot of patience. Okay, she's going to be coming through, you know.
Breathing. We're going to have to teach her a lot of breathing exercises.
Right, you know, Le Mans, is it?
Yep.
Yeah. I went through all of that. Nobody believed me. I ended up, when I went out for breakfast, I'd get sick on the, and then perfectly would order fried eggs or whatever. And then I said, you got to go to the hospital. Why? Oh, yeah. I left her there, went to the hospital. We had to go back and pick her up. And they had to give me .05 milligrams of Valium. Then they had a baby dinner.
Wow.
Norm had a baby boy. And I had them maternity. Oh, yeah, you should see. That was a mess. And I honestly think more men should go through that, too. I really didn't know what a woman has to go through. By the way, he's going to be a great dad.
He already is.
Yeah. Well, you had children, too?
Yeah, he has a daughter.
Okay. She live with him?
No.
Okay. But he's a great daughter when he's with her.
Yeah, he's a great dad.
Expect a lot of jealousy from that child.
What do you mean?
In other words, expect that your stepdaughter may have a little jealousy because of the baby coming, and she's going to want to feel that you're really going to have to let her know that the baby and her are just important to each other. Because that happens a lot. Like when I also will tell you, boy, your life wasn't always easy, was it? But you allowed it not to be easy.
Yeah.
You know, you were kind of spoiled as a child.
I wouldn't say so.
What
I
was your
always had to
mother
work
say?
for whatever.
Yeah, well, that's when they
Whatever
taught
I
you
need.
responsibility.
Yeah.
Okay, then that's what I call. They didn't neglect you in that respect. They're also very proud that you have your degree in what you do. I also see you getting a degree in psychotherapy. What I'm telling you may not seem possible right now, and you can go, well, you don't know what he's talking about or whatever. Trust me, I've had people call me. Remember we had that one lady call, do you remember what you told me 10 years ago? You know, okay, you know, and all that. I will never tell you I'm 100% accurate. The choices are all yours because you can change it, and we all have free will. Okay. I also will tell you, as a spiritual person, you can really do a lot of what I'm doing, but I don't think you're ready for it right now. Okay. You can evaluate children or autistic people. Do you do adults and children or just?
I've done adults and children, but I work with children under 3 right now.
How old?
Ages 2 and 3 typically.
Oh.
Well, 1 and 2.
Wow.
Yeah.
They go way back that young now. Because when I was in nursing and all that, we didn't have such a thing like that. I used to work, and I loved working because if we could, I look at the autistic child's brain as a treasure chest. If we could unlock that chain, be amazed at how much we could find out, you know. And do the doctors really want to? Because they may be smarter, because the kids are going to be a lot smarter than the doctors, you know. But you also you're creating, and I want you to realize that you're creating a lot of miracles in those babies. Because a lot of people would give up women. We're not going to hope so, we're going to know so. And don't ever use that word hope. Because if you use the word hope, it means, you know, but just say, I know so. I get it, right? Okay.
Absolutely.
You got a decision to make. Do you want to move from where you're living, or do you want to stay where you are forever today?
Oh, I want to buy a house.
Okay.
Family's
And,
expanding. We can't live upstairs from Jodie.
Do you live in her house?
I do.
Oh, you put that. No. Well, you both need your own privacy. What are you, an apartment building?
No, I have a house and a garage apartment.
Oh, but you need your privacy too, you know. And and I'm looking at shortly after the baby's born that you will have your own house, and maybe rent with the option to buy, or a fixer upper, like I said, with a fixer upper. You have pretty good credit, right? Okay. Your husband's is questionable, but you're the one who'll be the mainstay. You have been a very important stature in his life.
Yeah.
And I want you to realize that he may not always agree with it, and that's okay. But when you are really, but don't be quite so bossy.
I can't help that. No promises with that.
Try, because you don't want to lose him for your bossiness.
Yeah.
Let him love the child too. Don't don't make let him share the responsibilities. Don't control it, because I made that mistake with my son.
He can have some of the responsibilities.
Good.
That's
Okay.
fine.
Just make him think he's the boss.
Yeah, because I did that with my son. I wouldn't let my ex-wife. Maybe that's why I got divorced so many times, you know. But my son was my son. You know, she had her children, and he would call me. Mommy, maybe, and I would kind of override with it, and I made that mistake by not allowing her to make a decision. And please don't do that to him.
Okay.
Okay, because it's important that both of you make. Both grandparents are going to spoil this child. You know that, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, that's our job. Well, my little granddaughter, when she was small, we used to call Mount Rock River. You know where that is, right? And when she makes a banana, the peanut butter and marshmallow sandwiches, but I had to make sure we get water to go down with the ice cream on the way back. And that was fun, you know. But I got to tell you, you're going to be the most incredible mother in the world. Stop doubting.
Thank you.
You don't have to be perfect.
Do you know me?
You don't have to be that perfect mom.
Okay. I'll try.
Okay,
I'll try
right,
not to
Jodie?
be
You learn from mistakes.
hard on myself.
And it's okay to let them cry for a couple of minutes.
Oh, I'm a behavior analyst. They can cry it out.
So, okay, yeah. So you know what I'm talking about
Yes.
then. Okay, but don't ever doubt your capability of being a mom. You're going to be excellent. And then
Thank
you're going to have another child. I'm looking at the baby maybe a year old, or possibly when you get pregnant again, or 9 months when you get pregnant again. Don't put yourself on a pattern and say, oh, well, we're going to wait 2 years or whatever. Because you know what? When the babies decide to come, they're going to come. And remember this, your baby chose you and your husband to be the parent.
Mm-hmm.
Just like when you chose your mom and dad to be parents. You know, and this is what we do. We choose our parents. But we forget what we have when we come into this earth.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? It may have a little bit of allergies, but nothing serious. It may not be able to have chocolate. Are you a chocolate eater?
Poor child.
Yeah.
A little bit here and there.
I had some home. I have a friend of mine, a client that comes in. I should have brought you in a piece. I thought of it.
The fudge?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't eat a lot of sweets.
Okay, that.
I'm not a big sweet
But
eater.
I don't eat it. That's why I can't eat it. So I push it off on her and someday, you know. But I have a client. A lot of times when they do counseling and they can't afford it, they'll make me like fudge or I'll have a homemade pie or whatever. As long as they give us something back. I actually see you open up your own private office as a behavioral specialist.
That's
And
a
I'm not
lot
going
of
to tell
work.
you that's going to be right away.
Yeah, that definitely wouldn't be right away.
It's going to be like 5 to 6 years.
Okay.
Who knows? You maybe can go in partnership with her.
That'd be an interesting collaboration.
Yeah. You two will always be friends. Always be friends. You may not always agree on things, and you may be moving apart, but you'll still will always be there. Okay? And the one thing I also tell you is that your brother is pretty excited about you having a child, isn't he?
Yeah,
Okay.
surprisingly.
Yeah. How old is he?
Oh man. 38, turning
Okay.
39.
Does he have children too?
No.
No. So they expect an uncle to spoil him. That's their job. You know.
Yeah.
They expect that child to have everything it wants. Love. The hardest part you're going to have to say, you know what? No. No. You may not do that. And please don't do a doctor spot. Or you make it, do you want to go and sit in the corner, or do you want to continue to what you're doing? I did that, and I ended up paying $65,000 for one of my stepsons. You can't allow them, if they're going to have bad behavior. You know that as a behavior specialist.
Yeah.
Already. But you know what? It's different when you're doing it with your own child than when you're doing it with somebody else.
That's what I hear.
The old you has died away, and the whole new beginning, okay? I also will tell you that you are going to, a person who's like in their late 70s, early 80s, is going to be going to one of a funeral of a male.
Another one.
I hope I'm wrong.
Me too.
You know?
I can't even think of another
I'm
male.
not sure if it's a relative or a close, it could be an uncle. Do you also have a male person that just passed?
Yes.
Okay. Was he related to you?
Hmm.
Like an uncle?
Yep.
Okay. You were kind of like his favorite?
We were close. Yeah.
Okay. I want to let you know he's okay. There's 2 cats and a dog with him. Okay. Did his wife also pass?
No.
Okay. And there's a woman, could be his mother or whatever.
Mhm.
But I also want you to know that he's very happy. Did he smoke a cigarette?
My other uncle that passed 2 years
Okay,
ago
so you
did.
got 2 of them, okay.
Yes.
And they're all together.
Yeah.
And they're very
Yeah.
close with each other.
Mhm.
And they are excited. If you see little spots in the wall, that's their spirit coming in to tell you they're okay, they're going to protect you. If you see a picture that might be a little crooked, because you have to have everything straight up, am I correct?
Yep.
Okay. And you might, or if you smell smoke, that means one of your uncles is coming through. Okay. I also will tell you, you can get away with being pregnant with speeding, but I'm going into labor. Make sure that they don't want to make you rush to the hospital.
Okay.
I use that with one of my ex-wives were pregnant, and they took me right to the hospital. I go, oh shit, you know. But make sure. But I'm not going to tell you your journey in the next 5 years is going to be easy, because it's not. What I will tell you is that it'll be a better life for you because you can appreciate what you're getting. I also will tell you, going through, I do see you as a director, so, and like I said, it's not going to be, it may seem far-fetched and out of circuit right now, oh no, I don't know, but you know what, it's all going to come in time, okay? I do a 7-year stretch on it. I also will tell you that, is your brother married?
He's getting married.
Okay, that's why she's a child. Is she older than him?
No.
The same age?
No.
She's
She's
older
younger than me.
Oh, huh?
Yeah. She's younger than me, so they're about 8 years apart.
Yeah, so she's younger?
Mhm.
That's why I see the baby coming.
That they're gonna have a baby? I don't know. Maybe. We'll see.
Always remember, Mother Nature doesn't care,
Hmm.
right? Mother Nature, you
And
know.
when that spirit or that soul chooses their parents, that's
My ex-wife was 10 years older than me. She was 37 and I was 27. And let me tell you, my chest went out. I broke a high heel trying to run to get there. You know, but when the Mother Nature says that they want them to have a child, and they could have twins,
Oh no.
but you'll support them
Yeah.
and you'll love them both. This
Yeah.
person that he is with right now, they really do love each other.
Yeah.
The age doesn't really matter, you know.
No, not at all.
You know, see, that's like, well, my ex-wife, it did matter to her, and I didn't realize it really did. But age doesn't matter. If you're happy with each other, that's all that really mattered. Yep. You know, one thing I'm also looking at you too is that I will never piss you off. I will hide until you get calmed down. Does that make sense to you? You may not mouth it out, but you'll be pots and pans, stuff like that.
I'll just hold a grudge forever. That's
Yeah. No, you think you can. Now it's time to let go.
yeah.
So that you can be resourceful, you can be personal. In a relationship that you had not too long ago, this person hurt you pretty bad. Now you got to let it go so that you can be more loving to the person you're with.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I mean by that?
Yeah.
I encourage people to write it all out. Write it out, write the heck out of it. Write it out, okay? And you are definitely a stubborn person that knows what she wants and knows what she wants, and she's going to accomplish it. Okay?
Absolutely.
Thank you very much. Do you have any
Thank
questions?
you. No, I don't.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. See? You can stay right there.
Okay.
Want to swap over?
Yeah, we'll switch.
Jody, you don't want another baby, do you?
Me? No, I
No.
can't anyway.
Well, I do
I'm
see
good.
I do see you with a grandchild.
Yeah, I want
He's
him
a
to
loner,
be.
isn't he?
I'll
Yeah.
have to talk to him about that tonight.
Yeah, we're gonna have to.
But the right lady's going to come along.
I hope so.
and she's
I
going to be
do.
about 10 years older than her.
Oh, yeah.
The problem is that he's looking for someone to be like his mother,
Yeah, I know. That is one
which
thing.
is very typical on men,
Yeah.
and which is very, very typical. One thing I am seeing on you, you're going to become more known in the work that you do. And people are going to start, hey, what the hell? Like, I know you had a lot of questions to ask her, Mary.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not Debbie. But for some reason, she wouldn't have answered them.
I had that feeling.
I believe that in between you and I believe that the radiation in Kibo was worse than ever. I watched my partner.
Yeah, I can't. Because that is
Now, what
pushed
you-
in people's brains so hard, and again, with whatever the doctor says goes, and they know best, and yada yada yada.
Yeah.
I don't have that thinking. People say you have cancer, and then all of a sudden people panic. Oh my God, I have cancer. Number one, don't own the illness. Don't own it. You
No.
don't have cancer. Cancer does not have you.
And that's what I think. The doctor
it's-
wanted me to go on diabetic medication.
Mhm.
I will not own it.
No, you don't
That's-
own it. And then there's a reason. Don't forget, there's a reason why you have it. You got to figure out why. Could it be physical? Could it be emotional? Could it be mental?
This is why.
Could it be
That's why
spiritual?
I try to. Mary, unfortunately, was grown when it wasn't born when it was coming within your nature. Okay.
Yeah.
I often will tell you I see a lot of good healing coming in with that. What's that? That's Glenn didn't give me one.
Yeah, that was for you.
He never told.
Oh, that was over there the other day.
Oh, here we go. Thornton Wilder, Our Town. Directed by Lowell Williams from the play by Thornton Wilder. For April 5th and the 12th from 7:30 p.m. April 6th and the 13th from 7:30 p.m. And Sunday from 7 and 14 2 p.m. Ticket information, call 1-838-3006 or visit NCTP Info or MCTV Theater, North End, whatever it's called, Beach Street in Manchester, New Hampshire.
It was the Jewish Federation.
Now that's the guy that was on your show.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the doctor.
Oh, okay. And it's worthwhile, and nobody makes any money out of it. I can't see the prices, but you have to call in and find out what the prices are. Do you like live plays?
Do I like what?
Live plays. You like plays like West Side Story or
Oh,
Live?
yes.
I
Yeah,
do,
well,
too.
actually, when I was in high school, I used to go to all like the repertory theaters and watch the plays.
It's
and-
fun, isn't it?
It is. I mean, I haven't been in ages,
No,
but yeah, I love to
I
hear
can
stuff
remember
like that.
seeing only. Then you watch them on the movie, on TV, or in the movie. It's not the same.
No.
Who's the president? Virginia Bad Wolf, and can you think of her name? I sure we know. Elizabeth Taylor. Okay, and by the way, your child is going to be quite the drama child.
Like in plays.
In playing
Oh,
and
okay.
temper tantrums
Oh,
and
no.
all that too. I
No,
would
no.
encourage her to get into gymnastics.
Okay.
Okay, but I can see her being into an acting. Your son can is a lot smarter than you'll give himself credit for, isn't he?
Oh, no, I know he's a lot smarter than what he gives himself
You
credit
gotta
for.
push him more. Stop it.
I know. I try, but I don't want to push him too hard. My son is very hot-headed, and he loses it very quickly.
Well, you know what? He has a choice then, doesn't he? Get a job and work and take his hot-headedness out on the work that he's doing. He's a pretty strong boy. And if he did, I think if he could do manual labor, but you have enabled him so he doesn't have to.
Yes and no. Yes, I just, I don't like conflict, so I haven't made him do a lot. But yeah, you're right.
And not being fair to him.
I get that.
And I'm sure, you know what, you hear from everybody, don't you? You know what that is? It has to be your decision. If you're comfortable with it, that is up to you. Your husband gets a little impatient at times.
Yeah.
Okay, so don't let your son break you too up.
Oh, no, it wouldn't happen.
Okay. I love that picture that you had with you and your husband. I think and the 2 daughters. Now, did they live with him as well?
No, the youngest one he hasn't seen in 8 years. That's the first time he's seen her in 8 years, and the other one is he sees actually quite often.
I don't understand why people use children as pawns. Because I'm sure the wacky mother has alienated the children from him. I probably shouldn't use that word, but...
Well, there's 2 different mothers.
Oh, well, they're all one of them, okay.
Yeah.
But I do see a great reunion coming with them. And you know what? You're going to welcome in there with open arms. Okay? You really are, because this is the type of person you are. And you knew the responsibility that you would have before you got... You already knew who the man was that you were going to meet before you met him.
I probably did, because I knew the night I met him that I was going to spend the rest of my life with him.
Yeah. But you played hard to get.
Well, I wasn't really looking for a relationship, so...
And you were inducing... How did you meet him? You were inducing to your best friend?
No, I came home from work, and he was sitting at my dining room table. He was with a friend of his that was meeting with my roommate.
Oh. And you said, what the hell are you doing here?
No, we had some, drinks, and we talked, and it was pretty much all over after that.
Yeah. Good cocktails?
I'm a beer drinker, so. I'm not into...
Don't drink beer.
Yeah, I'm not into...
I'm a martini and tequila. What were you a drinker of?
I don't like beer. I don't like the smell of beer. But
So
I
is
like
it-
my orange and,
Vodka?
screwdriver.
Orange vodka. Towards the end of my drinking, I lowered my class and started drinking beer.
And Kahlua.
No, we'll do wine once in a while, but yeah, I can't
then my
drink hard
son gave
liquor.
it-
It makes me sick.
I like the Portuguese wine, what they call the fruit wine. When I go down to Massachusetts, I get one. A little glass like that.
My son gave an ultimatum: either keep drinking and not have them in my life, or get sober. And I'm glad he did, because I'm not going to ever tell you, folks, if you think it's easy getting if you think it's easy getting sober, we only got 10 minutes here. And you know what? Every day I work to stay sober. Every day. I would love to have the chinkling in the glass with the martini or the straight tequila, but I know I can't. Okay. What is it I'm looking at? I'm going to give you 3 because we only got 10 more minutes.
Okay.
Your office is really going to be busy.
I'm hoping so. No, actually, it will.
Nah,
Here it goes.
You beat me too.
It will.
That's right.
No, actually, I've been feeling it this year. It's really starting to. I can
Well,
feel
yeah,
it
because you know what?
coming
that's like
my
with
way.
me.
Yeah.
People are starting. Last year it was a cut and dry, hoping I made it. This year, so far, I've been doing very well. But see, you would take out 4. We'll see before we run out of time. But you and I are very honest with our prices, and you're also a very compassionate person which sells. You don't. You sell yourself. You don't sell others. You don't need to.
Right. No, what I do for my clients. I don't do it for me.
And you're learning to have more confidence in yourself. You got a decision to make. You want to stay in the same office that you're in, or you want to move to a bigger area?
I'd like to move somewhere more convenient for my clients.
Because you're going to be, okay? And I'm looking by the end of June. If you know it by the end of June, shame on you, it's your fault. Okay, that way you'll be a lot more. Make sure you have a wheelchair accessory handicap. Okay, and I think you'll be doing that too. Okay. I also will tell you that the person you're with, you got a lot more years together. You know, why he puts up with you, I don't know. I won't put it on you now. But I also will tell you, you're going to have to bail someone out of jail for DWI.
Oh, Jesus.
Well, pay.
You already know who it is.
Okay.
But you'll do it.
Mm.
That's your son doesn't have a drinking problem, does he? No.
Not that I'm aware of. I mean, he's usually pretty good when he's at home. I mean, I don't.
Your husband?
He's a drinker, but he stays home a lot when he's
I think
drinking.
we already said who it was earlier.
Yeah, I mean, he
And
does.
you being the auntie will do it because that's who you are. Okay. And the sad part is he has a nice truck now. I don't want
Yes,
to see
he
him
does.
losing it, and I'm proud of that, you know.
Yeah.
Believe me, you're in the right path. The journey that you had, like with the father of your son, was pretty abusive, huh? Okay. And you would vowed that no man was going to ever abuse you again, okay? But I also will tell you, you have a decision to make with your business. I want to see it grow.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see you have your own TV show if you want. So
I am
okay?
actually in talks for that right now.
Okay. And I think that would be a good promotion for you, bring in other healers like yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And because everybody has their own way of doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Financially, I do see a lot more improvement.
Oh, good.
You need it, and don't, you know. Your husband will spend $1 million on you if he has to.
Yeah, he would.
Yeah,
If
and
he
that's the
had it.
cool part. But you're independent. You don't want to owe anybody anything. Does that make sense to you?
Nope, I want to do it all on my own.
It's not. It's okay to ask for help.
Mhm.
It really is. Stop swallow your pride. Well, I was going to say we're on TV, so I can't. But swallow your pride and let him help you make a decision. Get your son's butt out to work when you're ready. Not anybody else's, but when you're ready. So he knows he's got it made with Mom. And I also know that he does have a lot of respect for you. Okay? Because if he didn't, he wouldn't be there.
Mm.
And you know, is he working right now?
No.
You gotta get him out there. There's no excuse. You live near a
He
lake.
works writing music, but that's pretty
not
much
money.
that's not money. Yeah.
See, I'm a firm believer in writing music and playing in a band or whatever. The only way you're going to be successful is working another job as well. Then your music will come into play. He's living a pipe dream that's not going to happen.
Mm.
But he has to live it out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? You live on a lake?
We live by a lake.
Because there's a lot of people that could use his work. He could be a good carpenter if he wanted to be. You have a dock?
Up in Maine, we do.
Up in Maine? You got to spend a lot of time up there.
But yeah, we've been spending a lot of time up there.
You like it up there, huh?
Oh, I love it up there.
They have running water there?
Not right now, but it will be soon once the
bet they
water
have an
goes out.
outhouse.
Huh?
But they have
They have an outhouse?
No,
Oh.
no, it's illegal up there now. You
Oh,
can't have it
God.
up there now. Yeah.
So, and actually by the end of the summer you'll have your water in.
Oh well, it goes in April every year once the ice goes
Oh,
out.
you actually have water there? Oh.
Yeah, we have it. It's just
I was wondering if you
not-
had electricity in there where you are. You know, I'm only picking on you now.
Mhm.
Because I know what it's like. But the future is yours. Claim it, grab it, and make it strong for you. Don't look back.
Nope.
Don't
That's
look
the new thing I'm going for this year. It's all in the past.
Okay. Keep contacting me. We'll get you on. I'm also, you want to come back on again?
Yeah.
Okay. Want to come on with her again? It wasn't that bad, was it?
No, it
No.
wasn't bad.
Okay. Yeah. And everybody, how much more time, please?
5.
Thank you. One of the things I want you, okay, Jodie, I want your website, and I want people to know what you do.
Holistic practitioner. I help people using nutrition, herbal, energy work. I'm constantly thriving in learning new ways to help clients because not everybody's the same. You can reach me at my website, www.natureswayholistichealth.com. My phone number is 978-476-1184.
Slow it down. What is it again?
978-476-1184.
Are you on Facebook as well?
I am. I have a business page, Nature's Way
Okay.
Holistic Health.
Okay, and what's that called on your Facebook? What's it called?
Nature's Way Holistic Health.
Makes
Yep.
you way holistic, okay. And this, by the way, you're gonna be seen when I download it. You're gonna be seen by a lot of people. Do you see that one where I was dancing on the air?
I saw that.
That was fun.
Yeah, it looked like it was fun.
Yeah. Next time we have music, you're gonna dance with me, right?
Oh, sure.
All right. I used to have a lot. I love people coming in that have reading disabilities or whatever.
The ones the Greek guys come in when they play the music.
All right, let me know. We'll hook them up with me. We'll have you come on and we'll do a dancing
The
stuff.
Greek dance.
sure.
And we'll break the plates.
You know how to do the Greek dance?
I used to.
Yeah.
I can probably pick it up again. I mean, I am part Greek. So.
I got some out of Boston coming
I
in.
can tell
We
my-
got to set a date for them to come in.
Yeah. Have that and let me know. Give me that, and I'll get a hold of them too.
Yeah.
Next week we'll bring in my friend John. Now we made amends, John Hopwood, and one thing I am going to talk about is the tables on the sidewalk. They're blocked. People can't even use their wheelchairs, and I think that's a violation of people. Like they have a picture where they were out there right up to the side of the sidewalk and I'm sorry, I can't go with that. I can't. That's wrong. What happens if someone gets hit by a car? Who's responsible?
Yeah.
You know. And Mary and I did Mary ever tell you we were almost attacked by a couple of
Twice.
homeless people twice.
I think I saw
Yeah.
that on Facebook.
Yeah, and we say one guy they were going to pour in the wintertime. They're going to pour water on a guy that was laying there, and then wake him up in the wintertime. I go, no, that's okay. Oh my power! Oh goodness! And they were laying, and I go, no. I will say the ambulance was very good, weren't they?
Yeah, they were.
You know,
Yeah.
and so, hey, I lost my pen. And I also will tell you that the house that you're living in, you don't want to move, right?
Me?
Yeah.
I would eventually love to downgrade. I'll just say downgrade.
What if I said it took going to take 7 years?
I can work with that.
But now you need to be where you are. Because you need the energy from that area.
Mm.
Okay. Same with her. She needs that energy from the area. Allow yourself to grow. Don't be quite so impatient. Okay. Well, I want to thank you two for coming on. Once again, your email is or your website.
My website is natureswayholistichealth.com.
Okay, and your phone number.
978-476-1184.
Okay, thank you. And remember, folks, Mary is on tomorrow at what time?
I'm on at 5 o'clock cruising with Mary.
And who's your
We
guest?
have the Salvation Army group coming in tomorrow, so they're going to be playing and singing and everything else. So,
So
Salvation
tune
Army
in at
group.
what time?
5 o'clock.
9 o'clock on channel 23.
Yep.
And remember, folks, if we lead today, you are the winner. See you next week.
My prayers are going out.